you a couple of names and who could be available. Just give me a capsule. When you hear the name, what comes to you? Addison-Russell, second base.
Interesting guy. As he was on, got suspended, domestic violence. I think he's got too much baggage for the Indians.
Well, he came back for the last half of the. What do you have? Miss 81 games?
Yes, yeah.
He was a big part of their.
He was supposed to be the shortstop of the future for the Cubs.
cj-cron.
Big power, but interestingly enough, he's been released by his last two teams. They're DFA'd. Tampa Bay got him, and then the Twins, and he had a lot of home runs both years. Kevin
Pillar, when it hits me, is what a great defensive player he is.
Yeah, he had a really good year with the Giants. Hit a bunch of home runs. I think he might have been too pricey for him. Played, maybe it slipped a little bit defensively.
All right, so then you come up with Cesar-Hernandez. Not too many Clevelanders would know much about him. Played with the Phillies, right?
Yeah, switch hitter, solid second baseman. I think he's a guy that would interest the Indians.
You care to take a choice on who you'd like out of the group?
Out of that group, I'd take this guy, Cesar-Hernandez.
And he's only, how old is he? 29 years old. Yeah. That's about right.
Yeah, a free agent. I mean, he got non-tendered, but that's. But I think you could probably get him on a 1 or 2 year deal. And
what do you do when you go to San Diego, and you see it on ESPN? The guys are all over the lobby, and you could see they're carrying their microphones and everything. Everybody looking for a scoop.
Yeah.
Do the scoops come to you, or how does that work?
It's changed over the years. It used to be, you used to see scouts and managers and GMs sometimes, and even in the lobby. But now everybody's kind of entombed in their rooms
and tweeting.
Yeah, and tweeting. So it's a little different now. You've got to have phone numbers of the agents. You've got to be able to get in touch with your guys that you're covering, Antonetti and Chernoff, and hopefully they return. They get back to you.
Tell me how stories break. Is it the agent generally? Just in general now, is it the agent who breaks it? Is it the team or the team that wants more, or the team that wants to settle right now?
Well, it's interesting. Sometimes, it can be all those things. Sometimes I remember I was talking to Tom Giordano, one of the Indian scouts, one winter, and he told me that the Mets wanted Manny Ramirez. The Indians were going to trade Manny, and so I write this big story that Manny's going to the Mets, and it didn't happen.
You needed to fill time anyway, fill space.
And so, it happens that way, and it depends who you're dealing with, too, who your source is and what kind of relationship you have with them. Sometimes, there was 1 year where they made the Joe Carter deal with San Diego and got Baerga and Alomar. And I had some really good sources there, and that helped.
Did you and your colleagues say, let's make something up here just to see what happens?
Yeah, but in the Baerga deal, I was talking to one of the San Diego writers, Bob Nightingale. He was covering the Padres then, and I said, and I knew they wanted a second baseman. And I said, well, who's their best minor league second baseman? And Nightingale goes, it's Baerga. I said, okay, that's what I'm writing with. That's why, and it turned out to be right.
Doesn't happen that often.
No, it doesn't.
You fell into
it's
that
changed,
one.
And when they were in Vegas a couple of years ago, and they made that 11-player deal, they got Joe Smith and somebody. I mean, they got a couple guys, but there was 3 teams, 11 players going to, and this is just when all the social media came into being, and I thought, God. My head was spinning out of that. I was like, I wasn't behind. I was like 2 days behind on that.
But you're always right.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You can be, but it was. It really woke me up that the thing had changed.
Hoynes, he's got a